Where has the time gone? It's almost time for the Olympics, guys.
Woo-hoo!
This is our sports section this month. We're getting ready for the Paris Olympics and the 2024 games. Holy moly. If you like Olympics at all, this is the time to really get excited. Are you an Olympic watcher?
Oh, I love the Olympics. I love watching all the weird sports that I never get to watch except once every 4 years. So yes, I am definitely a fan of the Olympics. I'm also excited because with the time differences around the world, Paris is going to be not so bad watching it in Taiwan.
So
a lot
6,
of the
7 hours
sports
time
will be
difference?
on in the evening, so we
Nice.
can come home after work and enjoy it. And I'm also aware that in 2028, the Olympics will be in Los Angeles, California, with a 15 or 16-hour time difference.
15, depending.
I don't think I'll be watching a lot of sports at 4 in the morning from LA. So I think I will overdose on the Olympics this year and then take kind of an 8-year break until the Olympics go to somewhere that's a little bit easier to watch than the West Coast of America. But yes, Paris is the destination. And a lot of people, of course, are excited about this for lots of reasons. We're going to have our Taiwanese athletes there, hopefully doing well as they often do in sports like badminton, taekwondo, powerlifting for the ladies
definitely.
as well. So I'll be watching them. And who knows, because every Olympics kind of, creates a new superstar, someone who was completely unknown before or just did something amazing in the Olympics in that sort of under the spotlight of the Olympics and really, catches the world's attention. So it's going to be very cool. And among the other cool things we're going to see in Paris, including, the athletes coming down the River Seine for the opening ceremony.
Hopefully. They've talked about that being problematic.
They're going to be doing the surfing in Tahiti, which will
Tahiti,
be
right?
interesting.
Yeah.
We're also going to have a few new sports being featured, some of them for the first time, some sports that were demonstration sports 3 years ago in Tokyo that are now official sports. And we're going to be looking at one of those today, a sport that a lot of people might not even consider a sport, and certainly a sport that when I was a child and it was kind of first becoming popular, I would never, ever have guessed or bet money that this would end up in the Olympics. But it is.
It is.
Breakdancing.
It is.
Or breaking, as they call it.
Let's listen to our article one time right now. Get ready to spin on your head. Breaking is set to make its Olympic debut at the Paris 2024 Games. Often referred to as breakdance or breakdancing, breaking was born in the streets of New York City during the early 1970s. It began as a way for African American and Latin youths to express their narratives and struggles through astonishing spins and movements. B-boys and B-girls, also known as breakers, frequently compete in ciphers, events where they take turns showcasing their dance moves within a circle of spectators. Breaking comprises 4 main elements: top rock, down rock, power moves, and freezes. Top rock consists of steps performed while standing, acting as a stylish introduction. Down rock, or floor work, involves movements supported by hands and feet on the floor. Power moves are acrobatic, requiring speed and strength, with techniques like head spins. During freezes, breakers suspend themselves off the ground to emphasize the music's beats. These are often used to indicate that a set has ended. Over the decades, breaking has gained recognition worldwide, with competitions and events held in various countries. The Paris 2024 Games will feature competitions for both men and women, with 16 B-boys and 16 B-girls facing off in solo battles. They will blend practiced moves and improvisation to the DJ's rhythm, with judges voting based on their technique, originality, and musicality to determine the champions. As breaking takes the Olympic stage in Paris 2024, this powerful dance that emerged from struggle will inspire young people worldwide. Whether you're watching from the sidelines or spinning on the dance floor, breaking offers a glimpse into the power of movement and the spirit of resilience. Right, so we look here, we're going to dig in. Our first sentence, maybe we look at the title real quick. The Olympic stage awaits breakers. So the Olympic stage here is talking about the Olympics, period. It's not talking about a stage where you're going to watch the Olympics perform. The Olympics, of course, being the games from the old days, from Olympia in Greece and all the competitions that would go on in those days, and then it becoming the modern Olympics that we've had a number of times that have been affected by at least one world war. I believe World War II stopped part of the Olympic celebrations at one point. And right here we're seeing the Olympic stage awaits breakers. So the Olympic world is looking forward to, if you're awaiting something, you're looking forward to it coming. You might be on the platform awaiting the train's arrival. You're looking forward to it coming so you can get on the train and go to your next destination. Breakers here are not people trying to break into your house. This is not a story about robbers in Paris, although that might be a story we'll hear about at some point. But these are break dancers. And so we're going to get ready to spin on your head. I can do that. Can you do that?
Not today.
I can't do that. Breaking is set to make its Olympic debut at the Paris 2024 Games. Exclamation point. This is exciting. When you debut something, it shows up for the first time. A debutante is someone who's coming out into society, and the first time that she's coming out in her dress and performing at a debutante's ball, she is debuting into society. She's coming out into society.
Absolutely. Of course, if you see a new movie, that might be a debut movie. If a new performer in a group or in a show, that would be their debut. What was the first time you were in a proper show? Oh, I debuted in my high school performance of Our Town or whatever it might be. So yes, it will be featured for the first time in the Olympics at Paris 2024. What are we talking about? Often referred to as breakdance or breakdancing, breaking was born in the streets of New York City during the early 1970s. So we have a couple of different terms here. Breaking is the official one in the Olympics. So if you're looking at your Olympic schedule, and there's water polo in there and synchronized swimming and gymnastics, the sport you're looking for would be breaking. It's not called breakdancing at the Olympics, but that is a perfectly okay term to describe it. I like breakdancing. I like breaking. I like to breakdance. This is how people talk about it or refer to it. When you refer to something, you're talking about it, probably using some special terminology or special vocabulary. Doctors will refer to parts of your body in ways that you might not, right? So you say, "Doctor, it hurts when I pee," and you're referring to that act as peeing, but a doctor might refer to it as he has pain when he urinates,
oh, yes,
or something like that. So we're just talking about something, and especially we use this term when we're kind of pointing out the correct language, the right vocabulary to use to talk about that thing. So breaking was born in the streets of New York City. In the streets or on the streets? I'd say on the streets, but anyways, it was born in New York City during the early 1970s, very famously in the Bronx. It began as a way for African American and Latin youths, Latin here kind of just being code for Puerto Rican youths, kids from Puerto Rican backgrounds and black kids, African American kids, in that area of New York to express their narratives and struggles through astonishing spins and movements, along with rapping, DJing, and graffiti culture. Breakdancing is part of b-boy culture, of that sort of rap hip-hop culture that a lot of people are very, very enthusiastic and interested in these days. But it began very simply on the streets of New York with these young kids from African American, Latin, mainly Puerto Rican backgrounds, expressing their narratives, expressing their personal stories. That's kind of what we mean by a narrative. A narrative is a story. I enjoyed the movie, the visuals, the pictures, the images were very good, but the narrative, you might say, was a little weak. The story was a little weak, the plot, the writing, but it was still an entertaining movie. And when you're talking about your personal narrative, that's just like your personal story, your personal history, or your biography if you're writing it down as a book.
Speaking about breakdancing, speaking about movies, as you just were, there are breakdancing movies that have come out across the decades.
Breaking 2 Electric Boogaloo?
Yes.
One of the best movies ever.
And then,
not
but it
for
was
acting, but
not for acting, but for the dancing. And you've also got Breakin', which was in the same year. That was the original one, 1984. supposedly there's one that's even better called Wild Style.
Oh, yeah,
that
Wild
came
Style,
out in
sure.
1983.
Oh, absolutely. And actually, if you're interested in breaking, a lot of the people who first developed the whole art form are in those movies.
Those movies, yeah, because those are the folks who
Shabadoo's in several of them.
And you've got also one more here, Step Up with Channing Tatum. Gets into the breakdancing in 2006. I'm sorry.
Go back to the originals. No Channing
Go to the
Tatum.
B-boys and B-girls that are also known as breakers and who frequently compete in ciphers, events where they take turns showcasing their dance moves within a circle of spectators. So what you end up having is this group of people. They say a circle of spectators, but I don't know if I would really call it that, a cipher, because if you're spectators, you're watching. You're just standing there and watching. But what's actually going on here is that one person goes into the middle, dances a bit, does their moves, and then goes back out of the circle, and another person goes in that was in that cipher, right? And this is from what I understand, it's a way breakdancers communicate. They communicate their perspectives, they communicate their attitudes, they communicate through dance without speaking. It's just communication through movement. It's kind of like a drum circle, right? But for breakdancing. That's one way that you can compete, and that allows you to take turns showcasing your dance moves within that circle of spectators. So showcasing means to show off. When you're really showcasing something, you're showing off something. We talked about it earlier this month in terms of Singapore was showcasing, I think, the Jewel waterfall, showing off that beautiful waterfall. Here we're showing off our cool dance moves.
Yeah, it's a competition, and you're basically just trying to do a better, be more impressive, wow the audience, and of course the judges, and beat your competitor. That's kind of how it works out. Breaking, the actual sport or the actual performance, comprises 4 main elements. So these are the things the judges might be looking at, and some of the terms you might be hearing if you do watch some of the breaking competition from the Olympics. So 4 main elements comprise breaking. So comprise kind of makes up. Breaking, if you break down breaking, you can break it down into 4 main parts. Those 4 parts taken together add up to or comprise the total sport of breaking, right? In the same way that you might say, 11 players, some playing offense, some playing defense, 1 in the goal, that comprises a soccer team, right? So you need these different elements to make up a soccer team. You need these 4 different elements to make up a proper breaking performance. Top rock, down rock, power moves, and freezes.
Right,
fresh.
That's 4 things.
There you go. So what are these things? What do they all mean? Well, let's find out.
Top rock consists of steps performed while standing, acting as a stylish introduction. So you're standing up. You're probably doing some breaking and locking where you're doing a lot of, actions with your hands, but you're standing up. Down rock or floor work involves movement supported by hands and feet on the floor. So for that one, I think of the one breakdancing move I know, that's the centipede. That might fit into power moves, but when you roll on the floor like a centipede.
Oh, the worm.
Yeah, the worm. That's another word for it. Yeah, that was one thing I learned as a kid. Power moves, then, are acrobatic, so they require speed and strength with techniques like head spins. Maybe my centipede fits into power moves, right? So that's 3 of them. Power moves are acrobatic. It means that it involves some acrobatic action. It involves you to be able to move your body in kind of like more like a gymnast sort of way, right? You can do bounces or jumps, or in this case, you're getting the motion going and you're spinning around only on your head, which is pretty acrobatic in my mind. The last one are the freezes. During freezes, breakers suspend themselves off the ground to emphasize the music's beats. And these are often used to indicate that a set has ended. So they might be spinning on their head, and at the end, they spin into a position where they'll maybe have their arm up on their hip, they're laying on the ground into a cool position, and they stop, and that's a freeze.
Exactly right. These are often used to indicate that a set has ended. So your set would be your little bit of performance. Often in these battles, they'll go back and forth maybe 3 times each. They'll get 3 chances to perform for about, 30 seconds to a minute. The other thing, of course, the judges are looking for is how you sort of blend your performance with the music that is playing.
Yeah.
Because the music will be kind of random. Each breaker, each dancer, each performer, each athlete will perform to the same music, but if you can kind of coordinate your rhythms, your actions, to go with the feeling and the mood of the music and the dynamics of the music, that will definitely add up to some bonus points for you. So you can look at it both as a physical performance and as an artistic performance, and that's part of the reason it is so appealing and so exciting and interesting for people all around the world.
Absolutely so. Let's pause here. We're going to talk specifically about what the Olympic breakdancing competition is going to look like. But before we do that, let's hear what our Chinese teacher has to say.
Fresh.
Hello everyone, 我是派老师。今天讲解的是暑期合刊 Unit16 The Olympic Stage Awaits Breakers。今天课程内容介绍的是 breaking, breakdance, or breakdancing。到底是什么啊？有这么多的英文单字，它所指的是同一件事情，就是霹雳舞。大家对于街头舞蹈或许不陌生，可能也曾经对霹雳舞者精湛的演出报以如雷的掌声。不过，可能大家都没有想过，有一天会在奥运转播上看到霹雳舞的对决。不过，事实上，2024年巴黎奥运将会是运动史上非常特别的一届。大家可以看得到，霹雳舞成为正式的赛事哦。好，我们一起来看学重点吧。请看到第一段第一个句子 Get ready to spin on your head. Breaking is set to make its Olympic debut at the Paris 2024 Games. 请同学把 is set to 画起来。Be set to 那通常呢，它后面所接的呢，其实就是未来要发生的事情啦。好，那老师给大家几个例句哦，比方说 The new movie by your favorite director is set to premiere next month. 你最喜欢的导演他拍的新电影下个月就要首映了 is set to premiere next month. 那又或者呢，我们说 Our team is set to compete in the championship finals next week. 下个礼拜我们这一队呢就会要参加这个决赛了，要竞夺这个冠军。好，那所以我们知道 be set to 后面通常所指的就是未来要发生的事。好啦，那我们就知道说这个霹雳舞很快的呢会在首次在奥运上登场，所以我们用 make its debut 这个片语所指的就是首次登场，首次亮相。再来，请同学看到第二个句子 often referred to as。好，那这个一样呢是分词构句，真正的主词是 breaking。breaking was referred to as breakdance or breakdancing。好，那常常这样子。那它是什么时候呢出现的？原来是1970年代在纽约市出现的。好，那刚开始为什么会有这样子的舞蹈啊？原来是有一些非裔美国人，或者呢这些拉丁裔的美国人，他们想要表达自己有故事要说嘛，那想要让大家体会到他们生活当中所遇到的一些不同的遭遇 express their narratives and struggles。 那所以透过这个舞蹈让大家可以看得到。再来我们看到第二段第一个句子。好，最刚开始是怎么样啊？原来这些舞者呢，我们就称他们为男生就是 B-boys， 女生是 B-girls。 好，那舞者呢会在观众围成的圈圈当中，他们会去轮流展示舞蹈动作的活动。这一种他们劲舞的地方呢，就称为 ciphers。 好，那呈现他们的舞蹈动作，你看我们这里看到 take turns 后面有个动词 showcasing，他们就会去展示他们自己的舞蹈动作。好，接下来呢，第二段也进一步的介绍，让我们知道说霹雳舞有什么样的重要元素，主要有4个。好，老师要请大家特别注意的是第二个句子还有第3个句子的主要动词都请画起来。 comprise 就是包含的意思，所以霹雳舞后面有这4个元素，分别是 top rock, down rock, power moves 还有 freezes。 好，那接下来他就分别去解释说什么是 top rock 是什么东西。我们就会看到他这里所用的动词 consists of， 那一样是组成，由什么来组成的。好，那再来第4、第5分别都是在介绍这些不同的动作。 那我们特别注意到的，在这里第5个句子 Power moves are acrobatic， 这是有点像特技表演一样 requiring speed and strength。需要的呢，就是舞者要有足够的速度，还有力量。比方说，他们会就是头会在地板上旋转，这样子。
All right, we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be right back. So you were saying something about breakdancing being a way for people to showcase their moves worldwide, I believe?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this appearance in the Olympics is not just a big surprise for people who've been following competitive worldwide breaking. They've had the BOTY, Battle of the Year, I think is held in Germany every year. And it's a big breaking competition that's been very popular for, 20 years, 30 years? I mean, from that I know South Korea, going to be tough to beat. They're very good b-boys in South Korea. And of course, the French are often good. The Americans are always a challenge. The Japanese are going to be in there. So it's going to be really, really interesting. But yeah, global breaking competitions have been attracting thousands of fans. I mean, I've seen them on TV. Red Bull often is the big sponsor. So big companies are getting behind this. So for the people who've been following it and know about it, having this appear in the Olympics is not a big surprise. It's going to just be interesting how the sport changes maybe by being in this big spotlight of the Olympic Games. But as it says, over the decades, since the 1970s when breaking first started in New York, over the decades, breaking has gained recognition worldwide. It's gained attention and approval and popularity worldwide, with competitions and events held in various countries. Yeah, here in Taiwan, all over Asia, of course in Europe, and back where it kind of started in North America. Kids are breakdancing basically everywhere. In Paris 2024, the Paris, I should say, 2024 Games will feature competitions for both men and women, with 16 b-boys and 16 b-girls facing off in solo battles. That's actually generally something interesting about the Paris Olympics. It will have an equal number of male and female athletes, I believe, in all the events.
No, what I'm curious about is why only 16? Is this in different heats, and then they have different groups of people?
Yes. They might have team competitions, and they will definitely have solo competitions. And what they do, it's basically just a knockout competition, right? So you'll have the best 16, probably, maybe from a few of the same countries, but many of them from different countries. And then, I battle you, we get judged. If you win, you move on, I go home. And then it's basically just, king of the hill. The person who continues to win will end up winning the final battle, and there's your gold medal. And I guess they might have one between the third and fourth place, right? They're going to have another one for the bronze medal because they have to give out 3 medals. But basically, 16 will face off in 8 battles, and then that will go on until they run out of athletes or run out of competitors. And these are solo. So when we say solo, we mean single individual breakers, not a team. So I guess they might not have a team, which is too bad because the team is kind of exciting too.
Yeah, team would be really fun. You have the handoff and everything like that. Right. That's part of the
often
fun.
The teams have a really good little kid who goes out there as a 9-year-old and is like, oh my God, this kid's amazing. So maybe that will be for the future. Obviously, they want to make sure the whole thing works first. And then they might add to it. So we're going to have a lot of solo battles, basically a one-on-one battle, one breaker against another. And then after their performance, they'll judge. And the winner, as we said, will move on.
Okay, and they will blend practiced moves, so moves that they have practiced before. They will blend this with improvisation. And what to the DJ's rhythm. So this is really interesting, right? They're going to mix together their practice moves that they use and they do, probably much like an acrobatic routine. They have certain moves that they are expected to perform within the course of their solo battle. But then they'll have their improvisation, the ones that they make up on the spot, which might be based on things they've practiced at home, but that fit in perfectly to the DJ's rhythm. I would think if you're friends with that DJ, you're going to feel really good because you might get a good idea of what's going on. DJ's rhythm. By rhythm here, we're talking about the music that the DJ is making, the beats and the sounds that are creating the music that they are going to be performing too, because a whole bunch of breakdancing is about about bringing out the rhythm, the beats, the music into their dance. And you've got judges voting on their performances, on their breakdancing, based on technique, so the skill at which they perform their practice moves and their improvisation moves, originality, so their creative moves that they make. If they're very creative in how they decide to perform to this DJ's music, then they are better than the guy who just does back and forth, hey, 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 I'm good, hey, and musicality. Now, I don't quite know how musicality is going to tie into the breakdancers part of it, but I guess it's, again, choosing to use the music through dance, so showing the expression of the music through your dance moves. That's what I'm guessing they're talking about with musicality here, to determine the champions.
Yeah, you'll kind of follow along with the music, and also you're probably marrying the different moves and different parts of your performance. You're kind of blending them in rather well together, right? So you're not just, okay, now I'm going to do the down, and now I'm going to do the floor stuff. Now I'm going to do my power moves. Now you're kind of blending it all in, and almost like you're writing a story, or the way a jazz musician performs a solo, right? If you listen, they're kind of taking you on a little bit of a journey, and they're making everything seem so effortless and natural, and the way it sort of marries with the music, it's almost like they wrote and performed and practiced this thing, but really they're just making it up on the spot. So the more you can look like it's something that you rehearsed and practiced before, the more you can impress the judges, because you are actually making it up on the spot. Back to the article. As breaking takes the Olympic stage in Paris 2024, this powerful dance that emerged from struggle will inspire young people worldwide. Well, it's already been doing that for a long time, but of course the Olympics will take it to another level with people from around the world who maybe don't have access to breaking or have only seen it in a few YouTube videos. Now they'll be able to watch some of the best young athletes, the best young breakers in the world, and that will definitely inspire other young people in places where they don't necessarily have a big breaking culture. They might get into it too.
That's true. And whether you're watching from the sidelines or spinning on the dance floor, so whether you're just like standing by and you're in the audience, or you're competing, you're out there on the dance floor yourself spinning, maybe spinning on your head, maybe spinning on your wrist. You can do that motion too, where you get yourself going and you spin around somehow on the ball of your hand, which is a crazy one. Breakdancing, offers a glimpse into the power of movement and the spirit of resilience. So it lets us see a little bit. A glimpse just means a little look into the power of movement, how movement can create power, can exude power, how you can find the energy in the way people move or dance, and the spirit of resilience. Resilience is the ability to get through difficult times and bounce back and get back up on your feet. If you have a bad event happen in your life, the passing of a loved one, you might go very, very low and feel very depressed. Resilience is when you can eventually pick yourself back up, and get moving on and moving forward, and maybe even succeeding even more than you were doing before, because you know you've got the spirit of the person behind you, even if they can't be there beside you. With breakdancing, I don't know about you, but I'm quite fascinated to see how this turns out with the Paris 2024 event. I'm looking forward to seeing it. I hope you guys are too.
Absolutely. It's definitely going to be one I will try to watch at the Paris 2024 Olympics. And go Taiwan! I think we do have...
Taiwan!
I think there's at least one. I'm not sure if it's male and female, but I know there's at least one breaker from Taiwan who is going. So that will be interesting to watch, and also interesting to see who wins.
Very, very cool. Let's listen to our Chinese teacher one more time.
好，我们接着看第3段。霹雳舞从纽约市发展之后，那怎么样开始传遍全球呢？并不是马上就风靡全球，也过了一段时间，过了几十年后，怎么了？ Breaking has gained recognition worldwide， 所指的就是霹雳舞在全球受到重视啦。那后面 with 附带说明，让我们知道怎么样的受欢迎的方式。With competitions and events held in various countries， 要提醒大家 with 后面 with 是介系词，后面不可以用原形动词哦。那要做变化，有时候呢是用加 ing， 有时候是用过去分词。要怎么判断啊？要看 这个动词跟前面的这个名词之间的关系。我们知道这些竞赛还有活动呢，他们是被举办的。Competitions and events are held, right? 是被动的，所以我们就用过去分词。再来，请同学看到第二个句子，进一步的介绍霹雳舞如何登上巴黎奥运的舞台。到时候会有16名的 B-boys， 还有16名的 B-girls， 他们会有单人对决 facing off。那他们的对决是 solo battles， 是单人的。好，再来我们看到第三个句子，那到时候呢，这些参赛者他们会做些什么事？ They'll blend practice moves and improvisation to the Digest rhythm。 好，那请同学看到 blend 就是混合的意思。好，请把它画起来。所以他们的表演会有两个东西，一个是他们预先准备好的 practice moves， 另外一个呢是即兴的表演，即兴的创作 improvisation。那后面又是一样用 with 来做附带说明，只是这边 voting 是加 ing， 因为呢评审他们是会主动的去做投票，所以我们就加 ing。 那再来第四段第一个句子，请同学画起来 takes the Olympic stage， 霹雳舞登上奥运，等于是成为奥运的赛事。那takes the Olympic stage 所指的当然就是成为奥运赛事其中一部分。好，以上就是我们针对霹雳舞在巴黎奥运即将呈现的这个文章为大家所做的中文解说。 See you next time. Bye bye.
Okay, everybody, so we've learned all about breakdancing at the Olympics. We've got a little glimpse into what we have to look forward to. If you have something that you want to look forward to, well, did you know that you can go out there and subscribe to our YouTube channel? We have more content on there. You can find recordings of lessons when you can really just kind of have a good time checking out what's on our YouTube channel.We hope you've enjoyed today's lesson. I know I have. I'm going to go break out that Breakin' 2 Electric Boogaloo movie right now. How about you, Mike?
Word. That's all I have to say.
For English
Word.
Digest, I'm Leah.
I'm Mike.
Bye.
Take care.